everyone, welcome to Panacea. So, are you planning to study abroad or you want to become a permanent resident of a foreign country? So, this video is for you. In this video, we are going to discuss what is IELTS, why you should take IELTS, its score scale, test types, its test dates, and its fee structure. So without wasting further time, let's get started with the video. So basically, we are going to start with what is IELTS. The International English Language Testing System is designed to help you work, study, or migrate to a country where English is the native language. This includes countries such as Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK, and USA. Your ability to listen, read, write, and speak in English will be assessed during the test. IELTS is graded on a scale of from 1 to 9. Next, let's see why should you take the test. If you are looking to work, live, or study in an English-speaking country, then you must be able to demonstrate a higher level of English language ability. English is the third most spoken language in the world with 379 million speakers worldwide. So IELTS is the most important, or we can say most popular test for those looking to migrate to Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and UK. It is globally recognized by more than 11,000 employers, universities, schools, and immigration bodies, including 3,400 institutions in the USA. Let's have a look at its score scales, how the examiner will score you from 1 to 9 score bands. So, for scoring 9 bands, you are recognized as an expert user of the language. The test taker has fully operational command of the language. Their use of English is appropriate, accurate, and fluent, and shows complete understanding. Moving to the next one, 8 band is very good user. The test taker has fully operational command of the language with only occasional unsystematic inaccuracies and inappropriate usage. They may misunderstand some things in unfamiliar situations. They handle complex and detailed argumentation well. Next is 7. 7 is a good user. The test taker has operational command of the language, though with occasional inaccuracies, inappropriate usage, and misunderstandings in some situations. They generally handle complex language well and understand detailed reasoning. Next is 6. 6 is a competent user. The test taker has an effective command of the language. Despite some inaccuracies, inappropriate usage, and misunderstandings, they can use and understand fairly complex language, particularly in familiar situations. 5. It is a modest user. The test taker has a partial command of the language and copes with overall meaning in most situations. Although they are likely to make many mistakes, they should be able to handle basic communication in their own field. 4 is a limited user. The test taker's basic competence is limited to familiar situations. They frequently show problems in understanding and expression. They are not able to use complex language. Next is 3 score band, that is extremely limited user. The test taker conveys and understands only general meaning in very familiar situations. There are frequent breakdowns in communication. Next is intermittent user. The test taker has great difficulty understanding spoken and written English. Last one is a non-user. The test taker has no ability to use the language except a few isolated words. So this was the overall score scale from which the examiner will score you from the band score of 1 to 9. Now let's move on to the next part, that is the test types. IELTS has 2 types, that is IELTS Academic and IELTS General Training. Both tests assess your English language skills in listening, reading, writing, and speaking. First, we'll discuss about IELTS Academic test that is suitable for those wanting to study in an English-speaking environment or university for their higher education. Now here's the test format for listening, that is for 30 minutes. In this section, you will listen to 4 recordings of native English speakers and then write your answers to a series of questions. Recording 1 is a conversation between 2 people set in an everyday social context. Recording 2 is a monologue set in an everyday social context, example, a speech about local facilities. Recording 3 is a conversation between up to 4 people set in an educational or training context, example, a university tutor and a student discussing an assignment. Recording 4 is a monologue on an academic subject, example, a university lecture. So, in this section, assessors will be looking for evidence of your ability to understand the main ideas and detailed factual information, the opinions and attitudes of speaker, the purpose of utterance and evidence of your ability to follow the development of ideas. So there are 4 parts with 10 questions each. The questions are designed so that the answers appear in order they are heard in the audio. Timings is approximately 30 minutes plus 10 minutes to transfer your answers on your answer sheet. Total number of questions are 40. Task type will be a variety of question types are used, chosen from the following, like multiple choice, matching, plan, map, diagram labeling, form, note, table, flow chart, summary completion or sentence completion. So the test takers write their answers on the question paper as they listen, and at the end of the test are given 10 minutes to transfer their answers to the answer sheet. Care should be taken when writing answers on the answer sheet as poor spelling and grammar are penalized. Let's talk about reading section now. It lasts for up to 60 minutes. The reading section consists of 40 questions designed to test a wide range of reading skills. This includes 3 long texts with range from the descriptive and factual to the discursive and analytical passages. There are 3 reading passages with a variety of questions using a number of task types. Timings is 60 minutes. Number of questions are 40. So in this section, test takers are required to transfer their answers to the answer sheet during the time allowed for the test. No extra time is allowed to transfer their answers. Care should be taken when writing answers on the answer sheet as poor spelling and grammar is penalized. Let's move to the next section, that is academic writing, which is for 60 minutes, which the students consider as the most difficult section. As in this section, your language skills are tested very accurately by the examiner. So you really need to work hard on this section to score a good band score. So the topics are of general interest to and suitable for test takers entering undergraduate and postgraduate studies or seeking professional registration. There are 2 tasks. Task 1, you will be presented with a graph, table, chart or diagram and asked to describe, summarize or explain the information in your own words. You may be asked to describe and explain data, describe the stages of the process, how something works, or describe an object or event. Task 2, you will be asked to write an essay to respond to a point of view, argument or problem. Responses to both tasks must be in a format style. So format in writing task is really very important. If you are going out of the track, you will lose your band scores. So there are 2 writing tasks and both must be completed in 60 minutes. Questions are 2. In task 1, test takers are asked to describe some visual information, graph, table, chart, diagram in their own words. They need to write 150 words in about 20 minutes. In task 2, they respond to a point of view or argument, or we can say a problem. They need to write the essay in 250 words in about 40 minutes. Answers must be given on the answer sheet and must be written in full. Notes or bullet points are not acceptable as answers. Test takers may write on the question paper, but this cannot be taken from the examination room and will not be seen by the examiner. Both the tasks are scored on the basis of the 4 parameters. The first one is task achievement. This assesses how accurately and relevantly the response fulfills the requirements set in the task, using the minimum of 150 words for task 1 and 250 for task 2. Academic writing task 1 is a writing task which has a defined input and a largely predictable output. It is basically an information transfer task that relates narrowly to the factual content of an input diagram and not to speculative explanations that lie outside the given data. Next is coherence and cohesion. This concerns overall clarity and fluency, how the response organizes and links information, ideas and language. Coherence refers to the linking of ideas through logical sequencing. Cohesion refers to the varied and appropriate use of cohesive devices, for example, logical connectors, pronouns and conjunctions, to assist in making the conceptual and referential relationship between and within sentences clear. Task response for task 2 in both IELTS academic and IELTS general training version. Task 2 requires test takers to formulate and develop a position in relation to a given prompt in the form of a question or statement. Ideas should be supported by evidence and examples may be drawn from the test taker's own experience. Responses must be at least 250 words in length. Scripts under the required minimum word limit will be penalized. Coherence and cohesion in this task 2, this assesses the overall clarity and fluency of the message, how the response organizes and links information, ideas and language. Coherence refers to the linking of the ideas through logical sequencing. Cohesion refers to the varied and appropriate use of cohesive devices such as, for example, logical connectors, pronouns and conjunctions to assist in making the conceptual and referential relationships between and within sentences clear. Moving to the next section, that is speaking, that lasts from up to 11 to 14 minutes. The speaking section assesses your use of spoken language. Every test is recorded. In part 1, the examiner will ask you general questions about yourself and a range of familiar topics such as home, family, work, studies and interest. This part lasts between 4 and 5 minutes. In part 2, you will be given a card which asks you to talk about a particular topic. You will have a minute to prepare before speaking for up to 2 minutes. The examiner will then ask you to 1 or 2 questions on the same topic. In part 3, you will be asked further questions about the topic in part 1. These will give you the opportunity to discuss more abstract ideas and issues. This part of the test lasts between 4 and 5 minutes. So the speaking test consists of an oral interview between the test takers and the examiner. All speaking tests are recorded. So the timings is from 11 to 14 minutes approximately. There are 3 parts in the test and each part fulfills a specific function in terms of the interaction pattern, task input and test takers output. In this section, your fluency and coherence will be checked. This refers to the ability to talk with normal levels of continuity, rate and effort to link ideas and language together to form coherent, connected speech. The key indicators of fluency are speech rate and speech continuity. The key indicators of coherence are logical sequencing of sentences, clear marking of stages in a discussion, narration or argument, and the use of cohesive devices such as connectors, pronouns and conjunctions within and between sentences. Next is lexical resource. This criteria refers to the range of vocabulary used and the precision with which meanings and the attitudes can be expressed. The key indicators are the variety of words used, the adequacy and inappropriacy of the words used, and the ability to circumulate with or without noticeable hesitation. Next is IELTS General. IELTS General training test is suitable for those applying to study below degree level. This includes an English speaking school or college. It can also be taken for work experience or other employment training purposes. In IELTS general training, it consists of reading. The reading section consists of 40 questions designed to test a wide range of reading skills. These include reading for gist, reading for main ideas, reading for detail, skimming, understanding logical argument, and recognizing writers' opinions, attitudes, and purposes. This includes extracts from books, magazines, newspapers, notices, advertisements, company handbooks, and guidelines. These are materials you are likely to encounter on a daily basis in an English-speaking environment. There are 3 sections. Section 1 may consist of 2 or 3 short tests or several shorter texts. Section 2 comprises 2 texts. In section 3, there is 1 long text. Timings is 60 minutes. Total number of questions are 40. So the test takers are required to transfer their answers on the answer sheet during the time allowed for the test. No extra time is allowed to transfer your answers. Care should be taken when writing answers on the answer sheet, as poor spelling and grammar is penalized. Next is general writing. Topics are of general interest, consist of 2 tasks. Task 1, you will be presented with a situation and asked to write a letter requesting information or explaining the situation. The letter may be personal, semi-formal, or formal in style. Task 2, you will be asked to write an essay in response to a point of view, argument, or problem. This essay can be fairly personal in style. Task 2 in IELTS general training and IELTS academic is the same, and task 1 is different in both. So there are 2 writing tasks that you need to complete in 60 minutes. So if we talk about test dates, test is conducted 4 to 5 times in a month. So you can choose your respective date and appear for the examination. And at last, if we talk about the fees for the IELTS test costs around 14,700 in India. So if you are from India, it costs around 14,700, and from any other country, you can check your respective fee structure for your country. So this was all about IELTS. So if you still find any kind of query, you can comment in the comment section below. I will make sure that I will reply your comment as soon as possible. So thank you so much for watching this video.